Much money has a city council member's personal business received from the local police unit? And is that council member under FBI investigation? Those are the big questions in Chandler right now. The ABC15 investigators broke the story, and tonight they're back.
Dave Biskuping and Melissa Blasius are teaming up to uncover new details and press local leaders about what they knew and when. Here's Dave with the latest.
This is an uncomfortable and messy situation for Chandler's elected officials. The city's police chief claimed Councilmember Jane Poston is under FBI investigation, along with former police union president Michael Collins. We found Poston's personal company, J2 Media, did video and PR work for the union, something ethics experts say raises questions about conflicts of interest. And that takes us back to Poston's fellow elected officials. We discovered several council members knew about Poston's business ties to the union. And how do we know that they knew? Well, just watch. At Chandler City Hall, ahead of a public meeting.
I didn't realize the budget meeting's happening in here.
ABC15 investigator Melissa Blasius tracked down the mayor and several city council members to see what they had to say about Jane Poston.
What do you think about the FBI potentially investigating her?
I honestly don't know anything about it other than what has been perceived. So don't really have a statement because there's just not much to say at this point.
That was the mayor, and these council members largely said the same thing.
You're asking me to unsubstantiated rumor? I have no comment because I don't know anything else about that.
You know, I necessarily don't even really have a comment on it right now. I haven't been contacted about this. I'm just learning about this email that came up just probably about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So this is all new to me.
A week or two ago. That's after we got wind of a potential FBI probe into Poston and filed a public records request for any documents about it. In response, we got a single record. This November 8th email from the then police chief to the city manager, stating he had information about an ongoing FBI public corruption investigation into Poston and Collins. The chief, who's since retired, didn't say what the FBI was specifically investigating.
And so I don't have a comment at this moment. I would just refer you over to Jane, Councilmember Poston's statement that she just released.
After we broke the story last week, Councilmember Poston released a statement calling the FBI investigation an unsubstantiated rumor. She did not answer our questions about her business ties to the Chandler Law Enforcement Association and how much money her business has received. Poston said she would address those issues when she returns to work after a surgery she had a few weeks ago. But we discovered not only has Poston's company, J2 Media, done business with the police union going back years, we found other council members knew about it. Some even appeared in their videos, like this one of a union leader and council member Matt Orlando. He even admitted he went to Poston's business to shoot the video.
Do you remember where this video was shot?
Trying to remember where it was shot at. Drawing a blank. Sorry, I just wrote a blank on it. Yeah, it might have been.
Was it at the J2 studios?
Yeah, I think it was there. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you were aware of Councilmember Poston's relationship with them and making videos for the union?
I don't know what that means. What are you trying to?
Well, Councilmember Poston owned J2 Media.
Right, and it was her husband that was doing the filming.
But they're co-owners of the business, right?
Again, her husband was the one doing the filming. It wasn't Poston at all. Jane was not at all involved with it. Her husband did the shooting.
Well, she actually was in one of the videos.
Well, again, I don't know that. I know you asked me about me.
Okay, sure.
So
yeah.
I'll talk about me. Jason was the one that did the videos.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any concerns about like her husband's business getting money from the union
Look,
to do this kind of stuff?
I'm not going to answer unsubstantiated rumors.
Councilmember Encinas also appeared in one of the union videos, although he says it was shot at the Chamber of Commerce, not J2 Media.
Did you know at that point that the Postons were working with CLEA and taking money from them to do videos and projects for them as like PR kinds of things?
I know J2 Media works with various people throughout the community, from the school district to private companies. So at that point, yes, they were working together, I believe. Yeah.
What's your expectation, though, if they're taking money from the union for their private business, on whether your fellow council members should be voting on things related to police personnel matters that the union would have a vested interest in?
Well, those are two private businesses outside of this arena. So they conduct their own business outside of that.
Well, certainly the union is very interested in seeing what happens at city council, and a vote from a city council member can either make their membership very happy or not happy, and they have business before this council.
Gotcha, I understand, and I don't know if that's directly decisions that are made between the owners of J2 Media. There are various owners on there, so I'm not sure how that is split between there.
Poston touts her ownership of J2 Media in the first sentence of her city council bio. Business records also show Poston and her husband as managers of J2.
Well, what do you think about her having an ongoing business relationship with Clea and then voting on issues relating to police personnel and raises and those kinds of things?
You know, if there's any malfeasance, it'll come out. But I know our police unions are good people. I know Councilmember Poston is a person of integrity. So, again, I don't know enough to make any statements. So it would be reckless for me too, because I know they're all good folks.
Now, the union's former president declined to comment, and the FBI does not confirm or deny the existence of ongoing investigations. But aside from any federal investigation, we interviewed a government ethics expert, and he says all of this raises a lot of questions. We'll have that interview and more tomorrow night. I'm investigator Dave Biskobing, ABC15, Arizona.